What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Bossman Show special guest, a buddy of mine from Atlanta Hawks. Stays back with his alma mater, Butler Bulldogs. I told him in the hallway, I hope he get this job when he did. My man, Ronald.
What up? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just glad to be on the show today. Glad to be at Butler, man. I just feel blessed, to be in the position I'm in.
Ron, it's crazy, brother. I was telling this to my last guest I had on the show. It's rare to have somebody on the show that's around my age. I'm a little older than you are, but we can use a part. It's rare to talk to a guy around my age and know the same stuff I know.
I don't know if I know all you know.
Hey, a little bit, a lot of it, it's funny, man. It's great to have you, brother. Let me ask you, man, how's it been to be back? It's a place you know so well, a place you played at, had success at, and how they embraced you as their new head coach.
Yeah, no, it really is a blessing. I believe we have the best arena in the country. And so obviously, when I played here, just the crowds and the amount of love that our fans showed us, in my time here was something that was special. So to now be back here and call this home and where I come to work every day is, something that I'm still not over yet. Man, I'm just glad to be here and love the support that, we've had as a program so far since I got here and looking forward to continue to build that.
And Ron, talk about how Indianapolis has grown since you played there. When I come there for coach games to work, it's like seeing what they're building, all the things around Indianapolis. Talk about how the city's grown since you played there and how that will help you in recruiting now to get guys to say, hey, Indy's a great place to be at. Anderson basketball state, Indiana.
Yeah. Exactly. No, that's something that we tell recruits all the time is, the great thing about Butler is you get the best of both worlds. We're a smaller school, but then you get the whole city of Indianapolis as well. So if you want to, just kind of be on campus in a small environment and just enjoy that, you have that. But also if you want to go downtown, see all the events, we're doing so many events downtown in Indy, and there's so many great things happening down there. You can go down there and do that. You also can go to the north side of Indy where there's a lot happening. The amount of buildings and new things being built in Indy is amazing. You can just tell the city is continuing to be on the move and on the rise, as is our campus. There's buildings on campus that were not here when I was here. Now I might be dating myself. I'm getting a little bit older, but I just love to see how our city has grown. I love to see how our school has grown too since I've been here.
It's a place you can actually have a family and settle down with. If you go to Butler, you can come here, get education, and stay for life. We never leave because of what Indy is now.
100%. No, it's a great family place as well. I was with the Pacers for 2 years, and so obviously when I played here, I didn't have my family. But then coming back to India a couple years ago when I was with the Pacers, to be able to have my family here, have my young kids here, it's a great place to grow up, a great place to do life.
And they love basketball. They love basketball. I see how the Fever games are, the Pacer games are, especially they had that run last year when I was covering that run, and just talk about how the passion of the fans in Indianapolis, how if you're winning in that area and you're doing your thing, they'll come out and support you like crazy.
No, this is 100% a basketball state. The saying here is in 49 other states it's basketball, but this is Indiana. Like Indiana grows basketball, and so we have a lot of different avenues for that to happen, whether that's professional, college, high school basketball is extremely high level. That was my first job out of college, was a high school basketball coach here in the state. And to go against these high school coaches, then, but also now that are high level coaches as well is great. And we tell recruits all the time as we're trying to show them what Butler is like as we continue to build this program. Like this place is sold out every night, regardless of what's happening with the team, because our fans know basketball and they love basketball. So, when I came here out of high school, I'm from Alabama. So when I was leaving high school to go play college, I wanted a place that was going to embrace basketball, right? I grew up in a football state. I love football. I'm a football guy forever. But when I was playing, I wanted somewhere that was going to love basketball. And I came to Butler, and it's completely changed my perspective on this state and what basketball means up here.
No doubt, man. 100%, brother. I'm with you there, man. And I know you talked about being a high school coach as well, head coach in the G League. Talk about this, man. In your playing career, at what point did you kind of get the itch to coach? Because I know that's guys in the boss balance with that's something we want to do. So when did you kind of get the itch to want to be a coach and get in this business of coaching, man?
It's funny. I wanted to be a coach starting in high school. I remember doing this paper in our computer typing class, and they said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I had a great high school coach, and I was like, "Man, I want to be a coach. I've had great coaching. Like I want to do that. I want to stay involved in basketball." Then moved to college. Brad Stevens is my head coach. In addition to all the assistant coaches we had, these are great guys that have families that coach at a high level. And I was like, man, I can do that. I want to do that. And so I actually coached my sophomore year as we were starting to make the tournament runs. I was starting an AAU team. So I was coaching an AAU team. Then we would go play in the tournament. We play the Sweet 16 Elite Eight, come back, and I would keep coaching my team. And so I've known for a while that I wanted to coach, and then obviously coming to Butler really took that to a new level. And then I was really blessed. Dr. Jim Snap, who was the superintendent at Brownsburg Schools, is where I coached, gave me my first coaching job, my first job, period. But I got to be the head coach at Brownsburg High School here in Indy.
No doubt, man. And how has the game changed since you played for Brad to now? Because, I know how Quinn likes to play from being around the house all this time. You've been around some great women in the G League as well, the Indiana Patriots with Carlisle and those guys. So talk about just how the game has changed since you was playing to now, and how it's really that 5-out with a trigger now, spacing the right way, trying to create those gaps, no slots, man, and just get the right shot off rotation.
Yeah, I think what you're saying offensively is the case. There are teams still that run heavy sets, but that has lessened over time. When I played here, we had a 35-second shot clock. Now the shot clock is at 30, so it's taking a little time away. But, people are playing a lot more free, a lot more conceptual basketball. Again, there's still great coaches that are running great sets, but I think it's gotten less over time. The thing that I think has been fairly consistent is the defense. Defenses, the best at least, the best defenses are still solid. They're tough. They make it really hard for you. And so, I think that stayed the same. And, for us to be good here, what made us good here in the past, what's going to continue to make us good is having a defensive mentality first, making things tough at home, on the road, no matter what, we can play defense.
No doubt. And this summer around, when you guys have workouts, is it going to be more developing the guy's skill set or really putting in some install defensively and put some concepts in so come August when school starts, it's not too much having to cram to that first game in November?
Yeah, our summer is all about mentality. It's all about mentality. We got to make sure that we are the hardest playing team we can be. We got to make sure we're really connected. We got to make sure we're competitive. Like we're hitting these guys every single day on those things. Now we are, we're not putting in sets and things like that. We're more doing things of how we want to play offensively, how we want to play defensively, some of those concepts. But we're doing those at a rate that like it's got to make you the hardest playing guy you can possibly be. Yeah.
No doubt, Ron. And I like for me, man, like defense is something that travels every night. Effort travels every night. Because shots not always gonna fall, but if you can do the little things, take charges, get into the penalty, get into 1-on-1s, just play hard. That travels. We know shots can be miss a lot of times. I know we don't want to put that small of a minute thing, but it really is make a miss. So if you do the other things, those intangibles with that right mentality, you can still win on a night where you don't have your shot going in all the time.
That's right. And I think with that, what you're saying too is what's important to that is that you choose those things. Like the things that you can choose, the things that you control, you have to control those at the possible. You can control taking great shots. You don't always control whether they go in or not, and so you need to make sure you keep controlling that offensively, but defensively, you can control your effort. You can control your attention to detail. You can control if the ball hits the ground, being the first on the ground. Like those things are controllable. And so we have to work on being the best team controlling what we can control every single possession.
No doubt, 100%. Because in the Big East games, it comes down to the last second, and a loose ball, a free throw blockout, getting the right offense rebound, getting out of transition, stopping all those little things that don't show up in the box score could determine whether you win or lose. And a seeding you have at the Garden when the tournament comes around. So talk about that, teaching your guys about the small plays that don't look like on a stat sheet or a box score, but matters when you watch the film back.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what we're on. One of the things is winning habits. Those things that you're talking about, those are winning habits, and it's also a possession mentality. It doesn't matter what happened possession before. Like you could have had the greatest possession ever, or it could have been the worst possession ever. What do you do the next possession? So that then it comes down to that end, and it might be a close game, but are we worried about what happened before, or can we have our mentality focused on what's happening right now? That's something that we got to continue to build. And again, those are winning habits that we're focused on, especially this summer. We'll do that all year, but we got to build that, solidify that this summer.
And Ron, I'm asking this, man, talk about teaching your team about this, man, that prehab and rehab and recovery and how to eat right and sleep right, because you play a long season. You've been in the NBA, so have I. Long season. But for these young men that are used to that, having them in be conditioned for the whole year to last, hopefully through a run through March of the Final Four. Talk about getting them to understand the importance of their bodies and the recovery piece of it, how they will help them stay up through the year so they don't have these little nagging soft tissue things that always will bug you and slow you down ultimately.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up. We were just having that conversation yesterday, just about how important it is to take care of your bodies. Listen, we want to play hard. We will play hard. We want to play harder than any other team that we play, but we also want to be smart. Like we can take the steps in that process of what it's going to take to be a great team when the season starts, but we're not winning any games today. And so if it's a situation where you can't do a rep at your max right now, then you need to make sure you're taking care of your body. We got to make sure we are at peak performance when that season starts every single game. And so, yeah, it's important. Your body's important. Like that's one thing I learned in the NBA. These players in the NBA, they do such a great job taking care of their bodies because they know their bodies is what gets them on the court, And so we got to make sure we push hard to get our respiratory system right, to get our mental capacity right. But we don't want to go overboard. We want to be really smart about what we're doing and how we're doing it.
No doubt, man. You can't go run and get you some covers late at night either. can't do that. You gotta stop after a certain point of because you don't want to add extra fat to you and be sagging the next day, man. Because what you eat is everything. What you put in your body is your fuel. And if your body's not properly fueled and properly rested, injuries can happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you have to sleep. Sleep is really important. Make sure you're getting that right amount of sleep. That really dictates everything. Like your brain, I actually tell my children this. Your brain takes a bath when you sleep. If you don't sleep enough, like your brain just stays dirty, and at some point it's gonna shut down. It's gonna start deteriorating. So let that brain take a bath. Let it be cleansed so that you can go and attack the next day. So those habits of sleeping, those habits of eating are critical, to becoming the best player you could possibly be.
And Ron, I know this is in college basketball. It's crazy for you guys scheduling games. So, how has that been for trying to get the schedule done, man, and find the right opponents to test you all prior to Big East play?
Yeah, it's really important. In the NBA, you don't choose your own schedule. That schedule is released to you, And so it's definitely a different challenge right now being in this role. And so, so far, I think with some of the schools that we have scheduled, we feel really good about it. We're going to be challenged, and we want to be challenged. We know when we get to league play, we play in one of the best leagues in the country, right? So every single night in the league is going to be difficult. So what we're doing in the non-conference leading up to that, we need to learn about our team. And I think we're building a schedule that's going to allow us to do that.
And Ron, also for you, man, for these young men coming to your program recruits, what are like the main things you're looking for in a young man who might want to come to Butler and play for you? What do you want? What characteristics you want them to have to understand what it is to be a Butler Bulldog, and what they will actually fit into what the culture you're building there?
Yeah, we talk about four things. All right. The first one is, are you humble? And for us, that means, are you willing to work? Like, do you think you're a finished product, or do you think, I do this well, but I can get better? Are you humble? Number two, are you tough? Like, are you mentally and physically tough, right? Mentally, we're all going to go through some difficult things throughout the season. So have you shown evidence of how you've gone through something difficult and you've overcome that in your life? Number two, well, that toughness piece is, are you physically tough? The Big East is a physical, nasty league. Like, are you physically tough enough to be able to handle the league? Number three, are you a great teammate? And for us is, we give you a role. Can you accept that role and play that role well? That's what being a great teammate is all about. All right. And number four, and maybe the most important, is, are you competitive? Do you try to win every single possession? Are you a guy that's like, sometimes you try to win if things are going right, you try to win? Or is it like, no, you know what? I don't matter. It doesn't even matter what I play. I might be playing a card game. Do you try to win? So we feel like if you're those four things, humble, tough, competitive, and a great teammate, then you have an opportunity to play here at Butler and have success here.
No doubt, man. And you know what, man? That's so important because I'm the same way, Ron. I don't want to lose to nothing, bro. Like,
nothing.
I don't care if it's Uno.
Agree.
Spades. I don't want to lose.
Agree. With my kids, same thing. I'm not losing to my kids. I don't care.
Yes, 100%, man. 100%, man. The last one I got for you, man, since you got this job, man, who's been the coolest person to hit you up and say congrats on this job since you got this gig, man? Since she's back in your city, Indy, man.
Oh, that's a great question. Man, I would say the ones that have been most gratifying are the current college head coaches that I know, like some real, college coaches that anybody and everybody knows that have had great success in college. Has been probably the coolest thing. Obviously we're all competing against each other. But to have the respect enough for those guys to have that in them enough to just reach out and say congrats, it really meant a lot to me.
Well, Ron, man, I told you in the hallway, I'm happy for you. And I'm happy, man. I really am happy for you. And I'll be in the week 1 for the Colts and Ravens. So hopefully I'll see you then.
Hit me up. I'd love to see you. Appreciate it.
With brother. Hey, keep doing your thing, man. Much love to you, my guy.
Thank you. Same to you.
All right.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.